Hey, what's going on, guys? Alek here. For those of you who still are dragging your butt across the floor to try and figure out who I am, check out my channel, please. It's called Scribbles and Scruff. It is a great little area that I put all my fun projects. But anyway, today we are going to be going back to another improv story. Improv story number 4. For those of you who don't know what an improv story is, I bring in Matthew DelaFuente, the owner of this channel, and I give him specific objects, things, people, whatever. And he's got to make a story up about it on the spot, right here. I will have no cuts, and if you've been watching the other 3 improvs, you will notice I leave everything in, even if I personally may be like, what the heck happened to that falling over camera on the stick that we had balancing the other time? But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it then, shall we?
Nerve-wracking.
I'm pretty sure it is, because you're a genius. Anyways, today we actually have someone else coming to tell you different items and or things.
Yes, we have our lovely guest, Hannah, who's been with us in many of our previous videos, who will be giving me what I will be improvising today.
Yes. We will let her go ahead and take over.
Okay, hi guys, it's fun to be here. Okay, so today we are going to give you 4 things.
Oh,
One
4
of the
things.
4 is a
Yep.
time limit. You have 15 minutes today to
15
tell
minutes,
a complete story. So your first object is a map.
A map.
Your second object is a rock.
A rock.
And the third thing is a person. And that person is a gypsy.
A gypsy.
And then you have your 15-minute time limit.
Okay.
Hey, 10 seconds. I've already started it. You're not gonna see it, it's fine. Just trust me. Good luck. You have 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding, 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 ding. All right.
Okay.
Your 15 minutes starts now.
Now. Okay. All right. Fellow improv story fans and anybody else watching or just checking it out, our story today is actually going to take us across the world towards the Arabian Peninsula. I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know exactly where that is. My poor geography skills. But either way, in the Arabian Peninsula, we are going to have a desert. And in this desert, there is a wandering and traveling gypsy. And this wandering and traveling gypsy has a name. Her name is Khalifa. Now, Khalifa is not just any traveling gypsy. She has in her possession a map. And on this map, there is the location of a very precious item. And that precious item is a ring. And why is this ring so precious? Because in the ring, there is a genie. And this genie is said to have powers, in particular to be able to grant 3 wishes. So she has a map, and she's been given a very particular mission to fulfill with this map. So with that context in mind, traveling in the Arabian Peninsula by foot, there Khalifa wanders. As she's walking across the ruins of a distant place from a town, she doesn't know that she's being watched. There is somebody with a sniper gun aimed directly at her, looking through that lens, and they are watching and tracking her every move. And they're waiting to see when she will take out the map. They've been tracking her for some time, suspected that she had the map, and they have their team of researchers who is on to what that map is in possession of. So the guy's looking through the lens, and he's looking at her. And he's giving the signal to his men to either wait or go. And right now it's wait. Because as she's walking, she's looking around for something specific. They keep watching, they keep watching, they keep watching, and then finally, the guy does this. Everybody begins to perk up. All those who are in binoculars are now watching. She has stopped in front of a large rock. That's weird. In front of a large rock. They're wondering why on earth she's going to be doing that. The rock is too big to move by herself, and there's nobody around her who's going to help her lift it. Why would she be stopping in front of this rock? Oh, maybe she's wanting to take a rest. Maybe there's somebody waiting on the other side of the rock to greet her. Neither one of those is true. So she gets nearer and nearer to the rock. All eyes are now on her, and they're waiting to see what she does next. She examines the rock, up, below, on the sides, and then she takes a very interesting stance, a power stance, where she looks as though she's about to do something forceful. To their utter surprise and amazement, she raises her fist and then brings it down square in the middle of the rock. And what happens? The rock splits in half and water comes gushing out of it. And as the water comes gushing out of it into the sand begins to part and form this gigantic puddle. Everybody is freaking out now. What just happened? It was like Moses cracking the rock with his rod. To their even greater surprise, what she does next is crazy. She actually jumps into that puddle of sand, goes down, and disappears. The guy with the sniper looks up at the other men, and they're all looking, what in the world just happened? So the entire team takes that forward movement toward that rock and that pile of sand. And they begin having a discussion about whether or not they're going to dive in after her, because she just up and disappeared into that pile of sand. Where does it lead? Where will it go? Finally, they bring in a captive that they had taken from one of their previous battles, and then they said to that captive, you're gonna go in after the quicksand. And he says, no, I can't do that. And they said, you will, or we will shoot you and your family. Well, that doesn't leave him very much options. So he takes one look at the pile of sand and doesn't jump. He's scared. He doesn't want to. Just as one of the guards was about to go in and push him in, one of the researchers said, stop, wait. He goes and he takes a closer look at the rock, specifically at the part where it's split. And when he goes to look, they notice that there's a part of the inside of the rock that contains what looks like some sort of writing. So he goes through and he looks at it. And then he calls in another group of researchers, and they come in and they take a closer look at the rock with its writing. And lo and behold, it is ancient Arabic. The discussion begins to happen. How were they able to write an ancient Arabic hieroglyph inside the rock and then put that rock together so that it stood firm and still, and yet with little force was able to split in half? They don't have an answer. And to make matters worse, they don't know how to decipher it just yet. So a call is made, a helicopter is flown in, and one of the chief researchers in all the area who studies ancient Arabic is flown in, and he goes and he looks and he inspects the Arabic writings on the inside of the rock. And as he analyzes it, he says, okay, this part of the writing contains a set of instructions. Those set of instructions are pertaining to, can you guess? A ring. And what to do with this ring. He then turns to the other group and he says, there's another matter to the situation here. There's another half of the instructions that are missing. And that's when everybody caught on. When that woman split the rock in half, the part of the rock that split went into the quicksand that was now created from the water that gushed out. And so when the woman jumped in, they accept the possibility that she may have taken that with her. So now we leave the scene where all of these men are looking at the rock. The woman has jumped in and is now walking in an underground tunnel underneath the desert that is lined up with this particular plaster and creative material that allows it so that the sand above does not collapse in on itself. And she's walking underground. And she holds in her hand the rock. And as she's looking at the rock, that ancient Arabic that was in there has a deciphered text for the location of the ring. And that's what she took with her. So she's walking on and she's continuing and she's analyzing the rock in accordance with the map. Now we go back to the guys. They're realizing very quickly that a decision needs to be made on what they're going to do to try and get the other half of the rock. So finally, they call in two of their top assassins who have volunteered, or rather were voluntold, to jump into the pile of quicksand. So they have their gear on and they're getting ready to jump. The one jumps in, disappears. The next one jumps in, disappears. Given that this whole process took several hours, the Gypsy is quite a bit ahead of these guys, and she continues her leisurely pace through the underground tunnel. Well, when these guys had jumped in, they carried with them a waterproof walkie-talkie that they then communicated to the rest on the ground above that there was an underground tunnel. And so more men went into the bottom, and there began a race from them to try and see if they could catch up to the Gypsy. A tracker team was sent ahead to follow on top where these guys were underneath. Well, then the decision was made to drop into the pit with special accommodations, a vehicle, a dirt bike, if you will, that one of the assassins gets on, and to make up for lost time is now going on. Well, after a couple of hours of tracking, eventually the sounds reach the Gypsy with echoing in that underground tunnel that somebody was after her. So she picks up her pace and picks up her running and eventually makes it to the end of the tunnel. Upon coming to the end of the tunnel, she stops and looks around to see if there's any other news of what can be done there. Well, eventually the assassins reach the end of the tunnel where she was at, but to their utter amazement, nobody can find her. She's gone. So an order is issued and everybody stops right up in that part above. And they now are trying to find her. And that is where I will leave you today. Cliffhanger, I know. But I guess you guys will have to use your imagination and decide for yourself what happens from here. So, if you would like, I will give you the opportunity to put in the description or in the comments below, what do you think happened? How do you think that story ended? By all means, feel free to comment and invite others to participate as well. I would be really interested to see your comments. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I hope so.
Yes,
I very much
very.
hope so.
Well, he is a genius, just like I said.
He's too kind.
But you know, that's where we might have to go ahead and leave this after we actually show you who our guest was. Everybody's seen her as well, and we might as well invite her to come on in with us and say hello. So
come on over.
Hopefully I'm seen. Hello!
This is our guest today. Yeah, she is actually part of my channel. Again, shameless plug right here. But yeah, this is Scribbles to my scruff.
Get it?
Cute, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, we want to thank you guys so much for watching, and like you said, comment down below what you want the story ending to be.
Maybe we can make a video of reading through those comments.
That'd be pretty fun.
Story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you guys so much, and hopefully we'll catch you here next time. So, bye.
Later.